I'm Steve Turano with Ask a Real Expert. D Universal asks this question. Hey Steve, I'm stuck at a plateau. What's the best way to break through a plateau? Doing additional reps or handling additional weight? Now, just by its definition, you're stuck at a plateau. Well, how do you go about doing more reps or handling more weight? This is a common question. I would much prefer to lower my reps and begin to handle more weight. And let's use some numbers for an example. Let's say you bench press 225 for 6. Well, how do you generate the additional power to bench 225 for 7, and then 8, then 9, and 10? The first thing I would ask the individual is, what else are you doing for chest, and how many sets are you doing? How many working sets? Because if somebody says, hey, I'm just doing 3 sets of bench press, I would say, add sets 4 and 5 to bench press. That'll create additional intensity regardless of your weights and your reps, and that'll help your strength. Or I would say after bench press, then throw in some incline bench press and or dumbbell work. So the additional work in and of itself would add additional strength. But let's say we're just bench pressing. We got 225 for 6. Well, how do we get additional strength to do it for 7 or 8 when we're continuing to handle 225? Here's what I would say. You already know you can do 225 for 6. So stop doing 225 for 6. Do 225 for 2 or 3. And then add some additional weight. 5 or 10, 10 or 15 pounds. And begin to handle that. So now you're handling 235 pounds, 245 pounds. So essentially you're beginning to gather the strength associated with lifting 230, 240, 250 pounds. So now you've acquired strength handling a higher amount of weight. So then when you go back down to 225 on a different workout, now you can get it for 6, 7, and 8 reps. To me, that's the best way to increase your strength. You know you can get it for a certain rep range. Okay, let's put that aside. Let's start lowering our reps, handling more weight. So by handling more weight, we're creating more intense muscular contractions, and therefore we're creating more demand on the muscle, and therefore we're creating more growth and more strength. Because you can't continue to handle weight for lots and lots of reps and then make big jumps. In other words, guys are thinking, if I do 225 for 6 or 8 or 10, will I be able to bench 315? Maybe, but maybe not. If you're handling a weight that's closer to 315, like in other words, if you're banging out 275 for 5, 6, and 7, I would say yes. But continuing to monkey around with the lighter weight is not going to garner you big strength. That's like saying, if I do 100 push-ups, am I going to be able to bench 315? No way. You've got to add additional resistance. So by adding additional resistance, by adding additional weight, it adds the additional muscle mass and the additional strength to handle the additional weight. And the additional weight can then either be a bigger bench or more reps with 225. So again, lower the reps. You already know you can get those. Lower the reps and again, add some additional weight. And whether it's you do the additional weight for 1 or 2 sets, 2 or 3 sets, and then you can even do a drop set back down to 200, just as an example. I'm Steve Turano. Train smart, train hard, love your body.